It's the cold hard truth. Everyone really want to know what's going on with her show. Just get on the air and you will know it's Sandra. The queen of the mile road is here, helping people from everywhere. Get on the phone and you will hear Sandra. Now she will tell you how it goes, but don't you ever step on her toes, 'cause you will hear the cold hard truth from Sandra. They say she's the hero in town, helping people from all around. You get a call, your money is found, it's Sandra. Some will call her late at night just to say that there is a fight, and she will not just leave it alone. She'll get up and call on the phone, and when politics starts on her show, everyone really wants to know the way the things will really go with Sandra. And some will start to criticize, get on the show and tell pure lies, but someday we'll realize it's Sandra. And when they start to argue again, she'll pull the heads to the wind, and soon you will be a friend with Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday, part one. We're easing right into the weekend. Hope that everyone is having a fantastic Thursday morning. How is everybody doing? All right. Let me just, we're going to make some adjustments here to what it is that you are viewing. There we go. Instagram. You guys should now be good. All right. Busy day ahead. Lots of requests for appointments today. The things that you learn when you sit where I sit. Oh my gosh. On a daily basis, I am surprised by what is going on in this country. Sometimes it's government and sometimes it is private sector. Wow. Some of these private sector companies are really something else, but keeping an eye on them, of course. And we have a couple labor-related complaints that we're going to be publishing in due course as editorials. The DPP might be hell-bent on stopping us from, having a voice, but we are going to fight for that right, that constitutional right, regardless and no matter what. So I can assure you the fight is real. But we have to be committed to it. And in no way, shape, or form do we intend to give up. I know. Trust me, I know. If they're going to prosecute me, I know how afraid you guys must be as well. But you have got to continue to shed the light on these situations, continue to reach out to me. You'll know that when you contact me, I always say, what evidence do you have? Show me your facts. So document stuff. I cannot say this enough when I say that, We need to make sure you've got documentation for what you're going to say. Right? But boy, these employers, they really, really think, unfortunately, that they are smart. They can outsmart you. They can break the law. They can do whatever they want with no repercussions. And that's not how it's supposed to work. So once you have your evidence of what you say is going on, the wrongdoing, document everything, write everything down. Sometimes, you don't have a piece of document, but what I would say is still do your best to actually ensure that you can, say on this date, this transpired, this happened. That's important, right? Because they are, and some of them, let me be very, very clear. Some of them are in it for the long haul. Oh, yes. They're in it for the long haul. They figure, well, they're not going anywhere. They're going to continue to operate. No one is going to take their license. No one is going to fine them or whatever for all the breaches. They abuse work permit holders. They abuse Caymanians. They abuse everyone. And they think that they're going to get away with it. Well, the only way that they're not going to get away with it is if those of you who are in these organizations, because trust me, when I tell you, you're not safe. I always chuckle when people will like, well, this not got nothing to do with me. I'm good. This has nothing to do with me. I'm like, really? Yeah. And then the day that it's your turn, all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, this company's this company's that. I'm like, yeah. How do you think a company or even individuals sit down and mistreat people and you're being saved because of what? Because you think you're cute? Because what? I mean, I don't know what reason y'all be thinking. Everybody has a reason in their head. So some of you, it's because, oh, well, I'm a Caymanian, so therefore they're not going to mistreat me. The expats are sitting there, oh, well, I'm an expat, so therefore they're not going to mistreat me. Oh, I'm a guy, so it's only the women here that are being mistreated. Yeah. I tell you, with all degree of confidence, that one day it's going to be your turn. So we stand up for all. We call out the wrong, whether it's political misgivings. Makiva Bush, good morning, sir. So many of you guys are afraid of Makiva. Well, look at what a coward he is. Not for nothing, but we speak the truth on the man, right? About his relationship with Milady. And what does he do? He puts her up to making the complaint to the police about us. Now, you know that man is a coward, right? You do realize that only a coward would do that. Only a coward would use a woman to file a complaint. He wants to do it himself. I know he wants to do it. Hey, Mac, how you doing, honey chow? Makiva wants to do it, but he's just a coward. These are things that I know as a matter of opinion and fact. So when you're a coward, you go in and put ideas in this young lady's head. Oh, well, she's harassing you. Because heaven forbid, we should ask questions, right? About how all of this works. Oh no. My goodness. What a hot mess. Yes, sir. Well, I can assure you that we will continue to speak the truth about him and any other MP that is carrying on, or not even MP, candidate that's carrying on in a particular way. Yes, we're going to speak the truth about them. And sometimes we're going to speak an opinion about them too. It's not a question of fact or whether or not he's a coward, but that is my opinion. My opinion is he is a coward. And a lot of the things that he has done over the years has been very cowardly, including how he treats women. So the DPP's office, as usual, is here to do the bidding for people in the name of trying to subvert these conversations, to keep us, quiet. And so I'm just here to tell them that it's not going to work. And this time around, the response is going to be very, very different. How's everybody doing? I guess you guys have heard the news. I haven't posted up the article yet because I am waiting on something from the court's office. But in case you missed yesterday's news, breaking news, I want you guys to hear it first on CMR. I have formally been charged with harassing Makiva's personal assistant during the campaign. It goes back to February, in fact. Let me find the documents. Hold on. Let me read what they say. Okay, give me 1 second here. Did I put it up here? I think this is it. Nope, that's not it. That's a funeral program. Let me see. Where did I put that document? Dun, 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 dun. I can't even find the document now. Hold on, honey child. So yes, it was delivered. Thanks to Kevin Ricketts, Inspector Ricketts. Appreciate you. I know the police are just, they just follow what they're told to do. They don't have any real power here. So it's fine. Nobody is upset with them. Give me one. Oh, I think this is it. Hold on. Yes. Okay. All right. So I have the document in front of me for the umpteenth time. I kid you not when I say that I have lost count how many times now between me in the courts and the DPP, really the DPP's office. I have lost count. It's been an exorbitant amount of time, but hopefully maybe by tomorrow, I will have a figure and I'll be able to let you guys know. I think it's pushing 10 times now, which is a lot. When you think about it, that is a significant amount of times. Anyway, the latest charge documents here, the latest summons says that, let me see here now, particulars of offense. So this is harassment, alarm, or distress contrary to section 88B of the Penal Code to 2024 revision. Sandra Teresa Hill on the 25th day of April. Let me see here. Within the jurisdiction of the Cayman Islands, displayed any writing, sign, or other visible representation. Okay, this one's kind of different. Which was threatening, abusive, or insulting within the hearing or sight of a person likely to be caused harassment, alarm, or distress. They didn't go under the ICT legislation, but I can tell you already, just reading that section of the Penal Code, there's a big problem with it. You see, it can't be that these DPP lawyers, Simon, whatever your name is, it can't be that they actually read court decisions, because me and my little amateur self can tell you that already I see like a really glaring defense in that. But anyway, I'm gonna hold some things close, because once again, the chances of them losing this case is pretty high. Then at number 2, they say the 1st of May, same thing. And the second one is the 11th of May, the same thing. So those would have been all the times that we talked about Makiva Bush. And by extension, his Cuban political assistant and sometimes girlfriend, concubine, whatever. And yeah, he's upset that we let the cat out of that bag. What a hot mess. Dun, 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 dun. Meanwhile, we have a head of the DPP, Simon Davies, who doesn't even want to show up to court. So funny. Director of Public Prosecutions. Someone's asking if this is a category B offense. I want to say that this is probably an either way offense. I'm not sure. So I do have to look at the penal code and double check. And there's a reason. I know why you're asking me that. I know precisely why you're asking. You're smart. But we may have to, we'll double check that. So some of these offenses are either way, which means summary court or grand court. And I want to say that this one probably is. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? I kind of low key feel like at the end of, well, there is no end, obviously. With the DPP's office, there will be no end. Yes, I do intend to sue the government because I've had enough. But even that is probably just going to slow them down, right? If they have to pay me a couple $1 million, that might slow them down a little bit. But knowing them, their hard on for me is so legit, like it's so real in their minds that I don't see that necessarily stopping them. But what I would say is that after all of these cases that I've won practically every single one, and I do mean that, like I'm not exaggerating, I think that what might need to happen is maybe I just need to get an honorary calling to the bar at some point. It has to be that the court's going to be like, girl, you're not really a lawyer, but gosh darn it, how many cases are you going to win before we acknowledge that you probably have some skills? Oh Lord, I don't want that. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's just ridiculous. But here we are, living in paradise and being hounded by people who have time on their hands for this sort of nonsense. No, sir. Here's Mrs. Simon. This is my latest nemesis. Head of the DPP, Simon Davies. Lawyer extraordinaire who never goes to court. Never goes to court. He has lost some epic cases. Let me tell you. Sometimes the judges are like, call him in here. And you know what he does? He's a coward too. Because he actually throws his staff under the bus. Although he told them, this is the argument that I want you to run and this is what I want you to do. When the judges are like, who on earth, they call him, he doesn't even want to show up. He shows up and sits in the galley. He doesn't robe up because heaven forbid he robes up. That means the court will properly be able to address him. And of course, he doesn't want that. So he makes his staff take the fall and take the insults from the court, legal insults from the court. Yeah, that's what these people do. So there you have it. We pay them all sorts of ridiculous money to come to the Cayman Islands and not show up to court. Wow. I mean, I've never quite seen anything like it. All right, but it's not going to, morning, Robert. It's not going to stop us. And this is what I want people to understand, right? What I do is not by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, if what I do was categorized anywhere else in a free democratic society as harassment, what does it say? Harassment, alarm, or distress, you would not have any TV or talk show anywhere in the world. You wouldn't have The Breakfast Club. You wouldn't have The View. You wouldn't have what's the one with Pierce Morgan, all these guys out of the UK. They wouldn't be able to say anything about anybody. That's how ridiculous these charges are. But here in the Cayman Islands, they want to criminalize free speech. And so I can't sit back and allow that to happen. Because if they do it to me, I want you guys to understand, whether you like me or don't like me, or you like what I say or it doesn't matter. Because the point is this. What's the point? What point? The point is this. If they can silence me, yeah, as broad as my shoulders and back are, if they can silence me, you will be nothing. You'll be like a little ant that you step on and you don't even see. That's exactly the aim here. Because you do it to the right person, you silence the right person, right? Everybody else is then afraid to speak. And so they just keep coming. And poor little me, I got my little boxing gloves on like this. I just keep punching away and fighting them. They must really be butthurt. They must really be up in their feelings over losing, having that conviction turned over. That Court of Appeal decision in May, all about freedom of speech, and a very similar, almost verbatim section of the ICT legislation. Now they come, okay, we've done the ICT legislation about 5 times. Let's try the penal code. So here we go. Dun, dun, dun. Round 25. I need one of those little, what's the little bell when you get in the ring? Ding, 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 ding. Round 25. Sandra Hill versus the DPP's office again. It would drive anybody a little bit insane. I'm not going to lie. They're not really driving me insane, but I'm very fatigued having to deal with them, and I'm sick and tired of them, quite frankly. And so from that perspective, that's why I have no choice but to sue them. Yeah. It's just, like I said yesterday, for those of you who may have missed it, because I think we were doing it a little later on the show, so some of our radio listeners may have missed it. The amount of times that I have been charged by the DPP's office, vast majority of them, I would say probably about 95% of the cases, they have actually lost at the no case submission stage. And for those of you who are not that familiar with the legal system, when they take you to court, the prosecution puts on their case, and then you can pause right there and say to the judge, you make legal arguments, that you don't even have a case to answer, right? And so when you do that, the judge can either say, yes, you have a case to answer, which means you have to put on a defense, or no, you don't. So, and about, let's give them another percentage, 94% of the cases, that's exactly where I have been. The judge just throws it out. There's no case to answer, time and time and time again. Right? So when you think about this from a statistical perspective, if that's say 8 out of 10, it's almost unheard of. Like I do not believe, and I stand to be corrected, anyone who can tell me otherwise, I do not believe that there has been anyone in the history of the Cayman Islands who has been charged this many times with different offenses, and the prosecution has lost as many times as they have. Let me say that again. Okay? No one else in the history of the judiciary, in the history of policing in this country, has been arrested and charged as many times as I have been, and have been as successful as I have been, which means the DPP's office has lost as many times as they have. Allow that for a minute to sink in. How is that possible? Statistically speaking, how is that possible? And then it begs the question, right? The bigger question here is, why? Why is Sandy always being arrested, always being harassed? Because there are times that they don't even get to charge me, because I'm like, listen, y'all better get out of here. They've tried to bribe me. I've had police officers say, if you take this content down about the DPP's office, we won't charge you. That is bribery. You are threatening someone with taking away their life, their liberty, their freedom if they unpublish a podcast and take down a story about the DPP's office. This officer had the audacity to sit in front of me and my lawyer and make this request on the instruction of the DPP's office. Y'all understand what we're saying here? And I was just like, you're trying to control media. Let me understand. I actually said this, and let me understand what I just heard you say. I've got a witness. I've got a lawyer sitting there. You are trying to control media and control my narrative by threatening me with criminal prosecution, right? Making this request that if I remove content, you're not going to prosecute me. Wow, that's rich. And then what do? They turn around and try to charge me with bribery with the settling of attempts to settle a civil case. It is just, it blows your proverbial mind, right? And like I said yesterday, there are two very, very distinct possibilities here. The first one, because of all these cases, is that I must be Cayman's best of all times criminal mastermind. That's a possibility. So let's say I'm wrong, although I've had an amazing success rate. That means that I'm a criminal genius. I should be running like a conglomerate. Better than Al Capone, better than, I don't know, who are some of the classic gangsters. I don't know who the heck they are. So there's that one possibility that I'm just, that good at being a criminal, apparently. And now I'm not even good at, it's not even like one type of crime. People are like, okay, well, they're really good at smuggling drugs or they're good at financial crime. No, I'm all over the place. I'm all over the map. I'm a criminal of many expertise: dog theft, property damage, harassment. What else has there been? I mean, it's like all over the place, like literally. Yeah? Okay. So that's one possibility. The second possibility is that time and time again, even under different leadership, the DPP continues with their own systematic harassment of me, violating my rights of freedom of speech, trying to enjoy a life in my own country, because they have a point to prove. When I hear stories from people, right, coming out of people's mouths, let me give you an example of this. When they brought that case with the Nation Building Fund, I was the only person. You see, when you look at the details of what has transpired over time, this is when you get to know something's wrong. There were so many people who took advantage of that Nation Buildings Fund. That was under McKeever Bush, right? They didn't live up to their obligations. They got scholarships. Friends got scholarships for their kids when they didn't need it. They didn't keep the grades up. They didn't do nothing. I have a contract in writing to provide services for Caymanians to benefit through a paralegal course. And somehow they come after me, the only one out of thousands of people, right, who had all kind of shady dealings. Mine wasn't shady. Well, mine was a legit business contract. And to this day, them, still owe me money. I had to write that off of my accounts, right? So they decide to take me to court because they say, oh, I falsified documents because I gave them certificates of people who hadn't completed the course. But here's information that's kind of interesting about that. When they requested it, I said to them, why are you requesting it? The course hasn't even been completed yet. You see, they had knowledge of this email because my lawyer said, well, there is no case with this email. Showed it to them and they refused to step back from their case, took it to court. So the judge is like, I'm confused here. How can she issue, a false document when she's the only person that can actually issue the document? So how am I falsifying a document that I have the authorization to issue a certificate? That's not the definition of a false document. How's it false? I had all legal rights, the only person who could issue the certificates. They questioned whether or not I was accredited. They have impacted my business, right? And these people do not care. Finally, when the judge saw that email that was provided to them before the trial started, where I said to them, why are you asking me for certificates for a course that is not even completed? Then they turn around and try to use that against me and say, well, I issued certificates for people who hadn't done it. That's because when you ask for them, the course was not done. And I said that to them. They ignored my email. Nobody from the then premier's office, that was McKeeva Bush, responded to me. Couple weeks later, they come back asking the same question again. I'm just like, listen, I can't take this level of unprofessionalism and stupidity from government, from civil servants. So I photocopied every single certificate and dropped it off. Right? Thank God I had that documentary evidence. When the judge said that, he's like, this email is proof of what her mindset was at the time. You cannot later go back and try to conjure up a case, this is basically what he said, that she was trying to provide you with false documents when she actually said to you in black and white in an email, the course is not yet completed and you're asking for certificates. She said it to you. You ignored her. A couple weeks later, you come back asking for the same thing again. The email was sent to multiple people, not even, you can't say it was just one person. Multiple people under the Nation Building Fund. And they get civil servants to sit there on the stand and lie through their teeth. They get Winston Connolly, a then permanent secretary for education, to sit there, throw Tara Rivers under the bus and say that he was instructed when he started, like, why would you pursue a case like this? Did you ever contact her? Did you ever reach out? Did you verify this? No. He was instructed by the political arm, according to him, this is his testimony, he was instructed to come after me, to make an example of me. He's another one who's a coward. Anybody friends with Winston, tell him today that I say he is a coward. Because to this day, he's not issued me an apology, and he needs to issue me an apology. Winston sat there in a court of law and said, well, the minister, Tara Rivers, told me to pursue this. Really? Another coward. It's like, and my lawyer was like, and you're a lawyer of how many years experience? Do you understand what fraud means? How can you accuse this woman of fraud and try to destroy her good name in a business community because, some government minister told you to do it? Right? You know what I found out years later from another member of the cabinet that during that time is how he ran into one of their caucus or cabinet meetings, talking about, we got her this time. We got her this time. Winston, let me tell you something. You owe me an apology, and I'm still waiting for it. I don't have no respect for you. That's when I see you out and about, I'm not even saying good morning to you because I have zero respect for you. We got her this time? Really? Really? Huh. Well, once again, the judge had to instruct the jurors to throw this case out because it doesn't even pass the initial threshold. This is the foolishness that I have been putting up with for years, since 2009 with the first dog theft case. The acting magistrate in that case said that was the biggest waste of money, and he was a lawyer of how many years? He said that was the biggest waste of money he has ever seen in his professional career. No one in the Cayman Islands, to the best of my knowledge, because I remember even the Compass at the time in their journal, remember when they used to do that journal supplement magazine or whatever? They did an article on this. Because once again, history making, no one in the Cayman Islands has ever been charged with dog theft before. But me, someone who is like an advocate for dogs, an animal lover, I'm going to steal somebody's dog. I'm going to steal somebody's dog. I mean, some of them have really been laughable. I was like, why would I do that? And I had all the evidence to show where I was looking for the rightful owner of the dog. This was back in the BlackBerry days. I sent out BlackBerry messages to hundreds of people. I posted it on Cayman News Service. I'm not sure if EK was around, but if EK was around, I posted it there as well. Posted it on Facebook. Does anybody know who the owner of this dog is? Nobody came forward. I didn't know she lived right across the street practically. Leanne Dakers, overwhelmed, with 2 young children. She didn't even want the dog. That's the saddest part. Right? And they charged me with stealing this poor little dog who had been neglected, running in circles every single night because the owner had so little time for her that she put her in an automatic feeder, automatic water, automatic feeder, and on the back porch. So the dog had very little to no interaction with people. To entertain itself, it was mentally, off a little bit. It would just run in circles. And the longer I had the dog, every night, 10 o'clock, running in circles, the longer I had the dog, the less that behavior would happen because she actually recognized, oh, someone's going to walk me. I can now go to the bathroom. I don't have to pee and poop in the same place that I'm eating and drinking my water on a back porch. Someone actually walks me to go to the bathroom. I get out. I see people. I see things. I have never met a dog in my life who could not jump on a friggin' sofa. I thought something's wrong with this dog. She couldn't jump on a sofa because the dog had never had a sofa to jump on. Who does that to dogs? A little house dog. She didn't know how to jump. I was like, what is wrong with her? Her eyes were crooked because somebody hit the dog in the head and dislodged the eyes. And this is what they think. I mean, God, good Lord, if you're going to be a dog thief, at least go out there and steal a cute dog. Make it worth your while. This is the things that the police have had energy and time for me. Charge me with stealing a dog. I'm like, really? 2 days before my trial, the Caymanian officer in that case was instructed to call me to collect evidence 2 days before the trial. And I said, you've got to be kidding me. I had her in speakerphone, and I can tell you, my aunt, she's still sitting there. I'm sure she's listening this morning. Aunt Adonia heard the conversation. And I said, why are you calling me for evidence at this late stage in the game? All these months later, and 2 days before trial, you know what she said to me? This is what bold-faced liars some of these police officers can be. Oh, we just want to make sure that you're prepared for your case. Yeah, okay, I'm supposed to believe that. I'm supposed to believe that the police and the DPP's office who are prosecuting me care if I win my case. I was like, what? I said, lady, please. I wasn't born yesterday. And I certainly was not born this size. You've got to be joking. I'm not giving you any of this stuff because in my initial statement with the police, when I provided this information months ago, you guys should have collected your evidence then. But instead, you proceed to charge me with dog theft when you know I did not steal this dog. Once again, the case got thrown out. The acting, Mr. acting magistrate, Furness, said this is the biggest waste. He said, if anything, this was a civil case. This is not a criminal case. And the civil case was for me to win because the owner owed me money for taking care of her dog and having to get her dog medical treatment because of how she was abusing and neglecting the poor dog. And I had evidence of her abuse and neglect of this dog. The dog had not been groomed in so long that I thought initially the dog was deaf. The vet was like, no, the dog isn't deaf. It's because it has so much hair in the canal. You need to take the dog back to the groomers, get it groomed again, because I already had it groomed, get it groomed again, and have them pluck the hair out of the dog's ear so it can hear you. I was like, what? Of all the years that I've had dogs, I never knew. He's like, yeah, nobody grooms this dog. These dogs need to be properly groomed. And so unfortunately, the dog can't hear you because there's so much stuff in the dog's ear, including hair. So they need to go in there and take all that hair out and give the dog a good, ear irrigation or whatever. Yeah. When they come and take the poor dog out of my hands, I'll never forget that poor little dog. I didn't even Precious, because that's when you looked at her, that's all you could say, Precious. Lord Jesus. Yeah. They had her locked up at animal control. No visitors. I had to give her, medication because, again, she had an ear infection. All this stuff. And Leanne wasn't taking care of the dog. She didn't have time for no dog. But yet won't excuse me of stealing the damn dog. And I was begging them, please. The dog was doing better. Give her little ear medication and stuff. Her eye drops. She was doing eye drops. I said, please give her eye drops because she's actually going to potentially go blind because she's been so neglected. And these eye drops, she has an infection. These eye drops are going to help. I would call and check on the dog all the time. And at one point, one of the workers said to me, Miss Sandy, do you know that you're the only person who checks on this dog? Even the owners who claim that I stole the dog, they have never once called in to check on this dog since we had it in custody. If that doesn't tell you what kind of owners they were or she was, I don't know what else would. These are just little snippets of what I have had to endure because of the DPP's office and the RCIPS. Because, I'm going to name them all in my lawsuit, and the governor, head of the civil service, you get named too. It has just been really, really trying, I sit here every single day and I fight for other people. And the biggest battle that I have had to fight, my own battle, is against the system. And I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. There are times that this has been extremely challenging. It has impacted and affected my life. But what option do I have? Because the day that I give up in my own country, what happens to not just me, but everybody else in this country? I cannot afford to give up. I will not give up. Every single time I get one of these, I have to fight like my life depends on it, because my life does depend on it. And so does your life and everybody in this country. I could be such a bitter person because of my experiences, I'm telling you. And you know what? I still get up every single day. And I still help the police every single day. You know how many scammers, child pornography people are in court, in jail right now because of me? Anybody else would hate the DPP's office and would hate the RCIPS. They would never be able to call on anybody else for help. And yet I stand for the right thing no matter what. Yeah? And what that means is that when I see a member of the LGBTQ community being physically assaulted, you know who people reach out to put out a reward out there? Me. You know who the evidence, the video evidence comes to that I then hand to the friggin' police? Me. And I do the right thing. I hand it over to them. I say, take these criminals off of our streets. When there was a guy posting on social media, a baby, and I do mean a baby of a couple months being raped, the citizen in this country who saw it came to me. They didn't go to the police because nobody trusts the friggin' police. They came to me to secure the evidence. I'm the one who had to download that disgusting video, put it on a jump drive, and provide it to the police with a statement. And that's why that guy went to jail. All of the Garfield Robs of the world taking money from hard-earning people, talking about he's going to give you shutters and he never does. Right? What's the name of the one the other day who stole over $50,000 from people in her rental scam? Judith Douglas. Judith Douglas is in jail this time because I called the police commissioner and said, what are your officers doing? They have all these complaints from good citizens about this woman taking their money. And oh no, they don't want to charge her. They can't be bothered. They can't be bothered charging her. And when I call him and I said, look, legally this is fraud now. You got to do something. Oh, then they can issue a statement asking for witnesses to come forward. I still stand and sit every single day on the right side of the law because I believe, despite everything, I believe that the system has to work. We have to remain and live in a society that stands up against criminality and stands up against wrongdoing. Despite the fact that these same people try to criminalize on a regular basis just about everything that I do. I'm telling you, I have had enough. I am sick and tired of the Patrick Morans of the world being able to come to Cayman and feel like he can get a free ride and do whatever the hell he wants in the DPP's office. And nobody's going to stand up to him. Nobody's going to call him out. You know what's even worse? Is our own Caymanians, our own Caribbean people, all of the petites of the world, whatever the heck her name is, Nicole Petite, who will sit there and allow people like Patrick Moran, like Simon Davis, to come to this country and try to criminalize behavior and people like me, and you sit down and you do nothing. And in fact, you help. You stand up and said, oh yeah, I'll prosecute her until it's your turn. Because Nicole, if you think that you're going to stay in that DPP's office where you are because you can kiss enough English behind, I got something to tell you. There's not enough lips in the world that you can kiss Simon's rear end enough where you're going to ever get anywhere significant. He can still bring in his white English friends and promote them over you. That's what you get. So I'm upset. Of course I'm upset. This is my life. It's my reputation that's always on the line. Even just the time and energy that it takes to deal with these people, it's not easy. I have a right, if my heart was full of hate against all of the DPP's office, I have a right to feel that way. But you know what? I refuse to give them that. I refuse to be hateful. That's why I continue to help them where I can. That's why I continue to help the police. But you know what? Enough is enough. Enough is enough. This is it now. I'm done. I'm not going to just sit back and continue to fight for absolutely no reason. It is time that I send the government a very, very clear message. You will pay, and you will pay dearly for trying to constantly come after me with such frivolous cases. The history is there. Even a blind man can see what is going on here. I've had enough. And don't take it personal, just like I don't take it personal every single time you come after me. Simon Davies, don't take it personal. But I don't like you. I'm going to be very honest with you. Everything that I've heard about you, there's zero reason for me to like you. You don't mean this country any good. Your predecessor, Patrick Moran, should be moron. He didn't mean this country any good either. These people do all sorts of foolishness, and yet we can keep them not just in this country, so they can get PR and status, but we can actually promote them, keep them on a government paycheck, on a government payroll. Where you think Patrick is, hiding in the governor's office or hiding under the DG's office, still getting paid by the people of the Cayman Islands? Why don't you take your rear end back home? Seriously. This is what we do. This is how stupid Caymanians are. Well, you're not going to stop me from talking about the politicians, the no good politicians in this country, such as McKeeva Bush, and by extension, his girlfriend, Milady. You can prosecute me for that all you want. I'm not going to stop, because it's not harassment. It is public discourse that is needed in this country. That man has done so much over the years. And yes, it was insulting to me that Juliana O'Connor Conley and her government, I'm going to hold them all responsible collectively. After all that this man has done, all the criminal charges that he has faced and been convicted of, they could turn around and give him a PS position, a permanent secretary position, and then turn around and hire a Cuban woman to be his assistant, pay her $4,000 plus a month, driving him around in a government vehicle because half the time he's drunk as a skunk and shouldn't be driving. And because I have the audacity to call that out and to question the very nature of that relationship and how she got that job. Keep in mind now that a Caymanian Graham Rankin used to have that job, and what did McKeeva do to him? All the years that he'd been riding with him. If you want to know where the bones are buried for McKeeva Bush, go talk to Graham, because Graham would know a lot. McKeeva fires him because Graham wouldn't be the type of person who's going to sit back and allow you to go and drag a woman and beat her up and pull her hair and punch her up, throwing things at her. Right? So he conveniently has this very interesting relationship with this Milady. That's her name. I'm just telling you what her name is. Right? And gives her a job on government paycheck and government time. You all sit there. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, honey child. How are you?
I'm good.
Be uplifted.
Oh, Cayman Brocker says Patrick works for the RCAPS as their legal advisor. I'm not surprised. Nothing surprises me.
These people can't take constructive criticism, which instead of they should be able to improve off of their shortfalls, and instead of improving, they try to shut you up and do you anything that they can do you to try to break you and to bring you down. Whenever you have an issue with someone, and this is always within government. This is with all within. Whenever you highlight something on someone, they shuffle them around. They move them from one post and put them somewhere else. Like they can't fire them, they can't get rid of them. You understand? But if they're wrong, they're wrong. And as long as the Lord lend you breath, let me tell you something, honey child. You speak out. You stand up. You be that voice for the people of the Cayman Islands. You understand? Whether they like you or not, because in Rebellion, I don't give a hoot if they like me or not, but I'm going to stand up for the truth and I'm going to speak the truth. You understand? And as long as Rebellion have been speaking the truth, why did I come at me that kind of way? Because they know my truth is concrete and I have evidence of everything that you see me get on air and accuse them of. There's evidence, legit evidence behind it. That's why they refuse to come at me that way. But sister, you just keep on speaking out. You keep on standing up. You hear what I tell you? People look to you more than they look to the government or to the police to solve any problem. You understand? Look at the hundreds of cases that you have solved, that you have called out people and got things right for people. So you be encouraged. You have helped a lot of people here in this Cayman Island. And you don't feel bad, and you don't sit up there and cry about the no good ones that we have here that always want to bring you down or indulge in corruption. They can't prosper, my sister. They cannot, and they will not. You understand? But they all need to know they coming where they gonna have to answer for every lie they told and every hole they dig for people to fall in. They will have to answer for it. So you just keep encouraged, my sister. Smile at the storm. You hear what I'm telling you? Smile at them and make them look small. Don't let them get to you. I know it hurt because I've been there. And I know a lot of times when you think people would stand up for you or for you, they're not. But I'm here to tell you and to tell the Caymanians and the public, not everybody that smiles up with you is your friend. So you kindly be encouraged, Sandy. You be encouraged. Uplift your spirit. You don't let them get you, though. You continue doing the right. I know it hurts, but you continue doing the right thing. Continue being there for the people. Continue being that voice for the people because they don't like when you speak out. They don't like when you show the dirt that they do. They don't like you exposing the corruption. And it starts from the very top. Always. That's why the down below will never get any better. That's why we're having all of these problems in Cayman today and it ain't getting any better. Because the problem is at the top. Change the top and then you'll eventually change the bottom.
Thank
you. Understand?
Thank you, Mr.
So
Amelia.
You keep encouraged, my darling.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Love you, Hannah Bonnet.
I thank you so much. It's wow. But Mr. Amelia is right. We're not giving up. We're human. We're gonna have our moments. But at the end of the day, the very thing that they would want is for us to give up. And we ain't doing that. So give her double kaboom for that this morning. It ain't happening. Under no circumstances. We will fight till the last breath leaves our body. And it is that simple. Good morning, caller.
Well, Sandra,
Morning.
Lord knows. I know you're feeling. I know exactly how you feel. But I put a warning on your page. They're going to come for your income next. So be wary of that fact.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, I'm so glad that you exposed all of this today. Were you bottling all that up? You should have let that out a long time. But you know what? I always say things happen for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And things are let out at the time they're supposed to let out. So may God be a guide with that. And thank you so much because this is corruption at its finest. You're telling me Patrick Moran did all of that, was convicted, went to jail, right?
No. He's not been to no jail. No, he's sitting there trying to put Caymanians who have worked in his office for 20-something years in jail. That's what he was sitting there trying to do. Right? No. His staff was calling him out for all of his prejudicial, nepotistic behavior. And what does our government do? What does the governor's office do at the time? Remove him, right? Saying that, there's no racism in the DPP's office. Yeah,
they
yeah,
always
yeah,
deny it.
right. Yeah, right. And then turn around and put him to work in another section of government. That's what they did, as usual, promoting the worst of the worst.
Racism. Listen, we had a native Caymanian working in that DPP's office. Told me to my face, Kara, when I was working here with Cheryl Richards, I don't care. She can come after me. I don't give a shit. She would go away on her lavish vacations, come back with all kind of presents for all of her people, her own people, and never once brought me one. Never once. I said, girl, don't worry about them. You don't want nothing from her anyway. Her hands not nice. But my point, all of this is that there's racism there. At one point, I had did an FOI and found out that there were 17 prosecutors there on government contracts and 2 Caymanians. And one of them was an intern. So you tell me if there isn't racism, prejudice, bias going on in that office at the ODPP or DPP.
Yeah, they don't want to see it. They don't want to see it.
They don't want to see it. And there's a particular sector of this community that want to constantly keep you down, as well as me. I know what you're going through, and it is tough. There are days it's really, really tough, but I use my prayer and fasting to get me through a lot of things. And I try to avoid as much negativity about it coming back on me. I don't mind getting up there and telling them what I got to tell them. And you do the same, and we appreciate you doing that. No problem with that. Spill it. Well, Lord Graham, need do is come on your show and really lay down the foundation of all the shit that he will put through. We won't see what in bones buried, Graham. How about you come tell us?
Yeah.
We're very interested in hearing that story. But anyway, Sandra, you got another caller. So God bless you. Don't worry about it. We out here still supporting you and uplifting you in prayer. You keep going. When you fall by the wayside and start to bleed is when they want to get rid of you. You keep going. Stay strong. Don't worry about them assholes one bit.
You're still on radio, Carrie.
Well, that is not a dirty word.
Lord have mercy.
Okay? It's in every dictionary.
Lord, now you can turn around and have off, right? You can turn around and have off, right? Message me.
Off,
come off.
They don't really want to mess with me either because I was listening to a radio station coming out of Grand Cayman the other day, and that 4-letter word came out in my song.
Lord Jesus, just leave it alone.
I'm listening.
Leave it alone. Have a good day. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This person says Makiva got a girlfriend and been begging man for sexual favors. What a ting. They are insane, doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Yeah, that's Makiva for you. He not got one bit of scruples in his body. Coward. Another commenter says, morning, Sandra. You've been winning for one of 3 reasons. Number 1, you're that smart. Number 2, they're that inept. Number 3, 1 and 2. Long live Sandra and CMR. Requesting your kaboom for Mr. Amelia just said, for what Mr. Amelia just said. What a mess. I tell you. Okay. More comments coming in. This caller says, I feel you, hun. We can be so bitter, but yet we still continue to do what most would never be able to do, even if they were handed all the tools and support in the world. Just take a moment and look at all that you've achieved, honestly, and what you've contributed and still continue to do. You know your heart is in a good place. And, ultimately, that is kind of what sustains you, right? It's the messages, and I do get them every single day, right? So let me give you all an example of the messages that I get that make me go, you know what? No one, and I mean no one, is going to make me get up and not get on this microphone, not tell you guys the truth every single day, not have open discourse, not talk about the ills that our community is facing, whether it's drug addiction, whether it's child abuse, all of these things. You know, I laugh sometimes when you guys talk about your elected officials. Oh, well, we're here for you. And you guys sit up there defending them. And I'm just like, these people sit back and see these things happening in your community and you're paying them $9,000 a month. Huh? And they still not doing some of the stuff and speaking about some of the stuff that they need to. And I just like, all I can do is just breathe. That has to be it. Seriously. Let's read this message together. This came to me over the weekend, and I was so touched by this. And I want to thank this young lady. Well, she's not that young, but whatever, who reached out on Sunday morning. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, honey child.
Good morning, Graham. How you doing?
I'm good. I do believe I heard you might have mentioned my name on your show, making me much more popular than what I am.
I know, right? I say, Graham, let's have a coming to Jesus moment now, right? I say, where all the bones are buried, and I know you do. You know you do. Yeah. And let me say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
You've been friends with McKeeva for a really long time, and I guess you still consider him a friend. But I can tell you one thing: these latest charges coming from his little concubine girl there, Milady. This is him behind it, and I know it. This is him encouraging her because he don't have the backbone to do anything himself. He would be encouraging her to make a complaint that somehow me telling the truth about them and the nature of their relationship, and you know that I'm telling the truth about Mac. Yeah, that's I'm harassing her. How can I be harassing you when I'm telling the truth? When I'm telling the people the truth?
Okay, I can't say like others have called in and say they know how you feel, because you can only know who feels it knows it. The way they have come at you, they have never came at me. They came at me one time, but I will not give you the second chance. Like China say, I will not fire the first shot, but I will not give you an opportunity to fire the second. And you have made them fire too many shots, to be honest, for all the things that I heard you read out and displayed this morning. Enough is enough. I would have been like how Jesus say, he coming again without observation. I would wait for darkness and sneak up on some of them and then introduce myself, because that, if all what you said this morning
and that not even half of it.
well, I know one thing.
Wow.
They would not, and they can tell, what were you saying? You can tell my dad. They would not come at me that many times and get away with it. And then dragging you to the courts and don't have sufficient amount of evidence to support the charges they're laying on you. But what that do, that also smears your reputation within a small community.
Of course.
And people got this thing of, wherever, there's smoke, there's fire.
Yep.
They'll say things like that, right? So even though you might have went to court and have won all the battles, people still got they are in their mind that you are who they say you are. Some people will think that just out of being spiteful and the likes, and you being a Caymanian who will stand up and speak out. If we could get me and you, and I got a couple other people in mind, elected, or we would turn this place around. We would turn, because I'm not afraid. I am not afraid, So we need more people like you. But guess what, Sandra? There's a lot of people that might not like you, but a lot of people like to have you around conveniently when they need you to suit you on somebody else.
Oh yeah, we know that.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't really like you, but they like to have you around. For convenient for themselves. Yeah, I could call Sandra on you, and they unanimously almost like will call or send you a message and hide behind it for you to expose it only for their benefit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Happens all the time.
You keep, like you say, you're not gonna stop. Don't stop. Ain't no stopping us now. Get down with it. Yes, Anna, have a good day, babes.
Thank you, my dear. I appreciate
On
it.
a child.
I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
This listener to the program on Sunday sent the following message. She said, "Good morning. I just wanted to say thank you. About a year ago, I went through a really low patch for 6 months. And one of the things keeping me going was to wake up and listen to you each morning. I never really commented, but listening to you each day was like listening to a friend. I'm back working now, so don't listen as much, but will do when I can. And I will always be grateful. X, have a great day." You see, there are people in this country from different walks of life who do not want the people of Cayman. And I don't care what side of the spectrum you fall on, because I am here for Caymanians. I'm here for expats. I'm here for Christians. I'm here for Muslims. Like, none of that matters to me. If you're on the right side of things, that's what matters. You're a human being. When I have workers who come to me in tears about how they're being treated at some of these hotel properties, like Palm Heights, I'm going to call them out again this morning, right? The fear that people live in this country, work permit holders, Caymanians, because some companies want to feel like they can do whatever they want. You have no rights. But I tell you one thing, Graham has a point. He got a point. Because you know how many of them, don't get this to Mall Road. We don't want Mall Road talking about us. We don't want Mall Road calling us up. Some of them fear me more than they fear the police, these organizations, these companies, because they know the police not going to do them anything. They know WRC. Oh, well, if we don't get this particular person to issue a statement, we can't prosecute. So therefore, they continue to get away with bribery and all kind of foolishness. They know that when we get the information, we're going to put it out there. So thank you, Romelia, Graham, Anthony, Juanita, all of you in the comment section who understand that this is not just my personal battle. As the Court of Appeal acknowledged in that appeal, they said this case isn't about you. That's why we gotta make sure you don't pay for this, because this isn't just about you. There's a much broader constitutional issue here. We have to set down the law in this country when it comes to freedom of expression, freedom of speech, which is protected by the Bill of Rights in our Constitution. And you can imagine, months after the court has said that, the DPP think that they can come again. You know what I'm saying? It's like, were y'all not paying attention in court? Simon Davies, I know you don't go to court ever. That was one of the first time people ever saw you in court. But did you miss what the judge said? He said the judges, it's a 3-judge panel. They said freedom of speech is to be fiercely protected in this country. And here you guys are again with the latest charge sheet. There we go, folks. Trying to criminalize it yet again. Here we go again. We cannot allow them to criminalize free speech, which is exactly what they wish to do. Yeah. So we gotta fight. And yes, I will fight. And I'm not gonna stop talking about, especially the politicians, the no good politicians. So many of them are fearful and hiding under a rock as well. Right? And if they think, well, we get one conviction against her. Yeah, boy, that's all it's going to take. She's going to be afraid to speak again after this. It ain't going to happen. Nope. The good people of this country, I think, are too aware and too cognizant of exactly what is happening here to allow this to happen. Listen, people said, you don't have to like me. You don't have to like what I say. But protect someone's right to say it. You know, sometimes people message me, this person said this on Mall Road about me, and I'm like, well, what's the problem? Don't read it if you don't like it. Stop arguing with people online if you can't take the heat. But they're entitled to their opinion. They're entitled to say what they say. They might not be right in their opinion. You don't have to agree with their opinion. But I'm going to fight for their right to say it. This person said what she said. People look to you, period, end of story. I wonder how many of y'all are looking up to the DPP's office, just out of curiosity. How many of you think that they're doing such a stellar job and that his contract should be renewed? What a hot mess. What a mess. Unbelievable. This person says, let's just pull up some more comments here. And listen, somebody just said, oh, you know, no one else has been prosecuted as much as you, except McKeever Bush. Don't call my name. Don't call my name in the same sentence with that man, please. Whatever you do, don't do that. Okay? You're actually insulting me now. Don't do it. He's only been to court once. It was a long, protracted case, yes. But he actually has a conviction for assaulting a woman that we all saw on video. So don't compare me to that man. Not in this lifetime, please. You're insulting me. He's no martyr. He's nobody to look up to. Right? He propositions men, women, barely legal people. He's a wife beater. He's a woman beater. All of those things about him are true. So please don't compare me to that man. This is where now you insult me. Don't do it. Now you're getting to the point, elected officials getting elected has weakened trust. There's more power out there, but we must unite and stand for what's right. Strength is in unity and numbers. You've saved me. I said it, and I will continue to say it. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know or even understand. Thank you so much. Oh, someone said the audio cut. Can you guys hear me okay? I think you can hear me. Let's see. You know, I chuckle. Even the so-called millionaires who have tried to come at me in terms of civil cases. We haven't even touched the civil cases. That's a whole other conundrum. One of them recently was involved in a vehicular accident. And someone said to me, Sandy, isn't this the guy that you reported on before? And I said, yeah, we reported on him in relation to a gun incident. Y'all got to pay attention. Y'all got to pay attention. When somebody shows you who they are, you better pay attention. So now a young Caymanian young lady has had her arm broken in 3 or 4 places, may not ever be able to have proper use of that arm again, in a vehicle that this man owns, but he claims he wasn't the driver. And the police seem to be dragging their feet, can't get CCTV footage to show who was actually driving and all kind of foolishness. They got time, you see? The police have time. We have a multimillionaire in this country who a gun was found on a vessel and in his home. It was actually in his home. The police make that disappear. They arrest him, but don't charge him. I want y'all to understand the type of cases that never come to fruition. Because in this country, who you know and what money you have makes a difference about the kind of justice you will get in the Cayman Islands. And when I dared to call out, well, what the hell? How does this happen? Because I know a Caymanian would have been charged for that offense. You would have had 7 years of your life if you pled guilty, gone, incarcerated, 10 years if you didn't plead guilty. And yet we have a foreign multimillionaire. Yeah, nice looking guy, whatever, who doesn't get charged. The police take the gun. They don't say anything to the media, nothing to the press, and they decide not to charge him. It just disappears. Wow. This is the RCIPS now that I'm talking about. Huh? And they want us to respect them? Well, okay then. This person says, you're always willing to help everyone. Maybe we, your listeners, should step up and start a fund to assist you with your legal costs. This targeting of you is in effect targeting not only yours, but our right to free speech. I hate to say this, but unfortunately, you may have to be the sacrificial lamb for all of us to cement our freedom of speech into law. Keep fighting the good fight and don't be discouraged. You have more supporters than detractors. Well, you know, I appreciate this, and the legal aid fund is there for me to be able to utilize and to fight, and that's exactly what I'm going to continue to do. The government is going to have to foot the bill for this because this is ridiculous. Sadiqa says kaboom for that statement. Nathina says how nice looking. Well, not nice looking enough to have not spent a little bit of time in Northward, if you want my opinion. Tracy, good morning. Says maybe they're playing like in Honduras, pay the police and everything disappears. Well, you know, I'm not going to say that that's what happened. I don't know about payment, but what I know is who you are. That influence of being a multimillionaire, being an expat living in Cayman, being able to twist, you know, get good lawyers and twist things left, right, and center is to your benefit. That's what I know. That much we know. Aliano, good morning, says Miss Sandy. When you let tyranny run unchecked, we are forced to struggle through more issues the longer it happens. Miss Dean Shillette says, you're the last woman standing. Well, I can't be. And so that is where, you know, we all have to fight. Kim Bracker says, when you win this, not if, but when you win this, sue for defamation of character. Well, this is the thing, Kim Bracker. When we not even waiting, because this will take years again off my life, because these things take a long time to come to trial, right? This is going to be years before. This probably won't happen next year even. This is how ridiculous the system is, clogged up. And they're never in any rush with me because they're like, well, you know, you're not incarcerated, so your case doesn't really take precedence. That's the opinion. Yeah? So this isn't about defamation. This is about, thank you, Dr. Lukloy. I saw your comment and I think you said it best. Let me see. Dr. Lukloy says this is persecution, not prosecution. And he is absolutely right. There is a difference between the two. And so, you know, the DPP's office is supposed to stand on the right side of the law, even when if they see a case that, okay, oh wow, look at this, we've gotten it wrong. They are supposed to do the right thing, not just seek to get a conviction at any cost. There's a case that goes way back to I don't know, in law, probably the 1800s or whatever, that talked about the role of the prosecution. Let me try to find the quote. I think it was Lord Diplock, but don't hold me to that. Law school was a long time ago. And it basically says that their remit is to seek justice above all else. They have a duty. I think this is, let me see. It was a UK judge. It used to be on the DPP's page, but of course they've redone their website and conveniently removed that, which is so interesting. But the basic premise of it is that they should seek justice, not merely to try to get a conviction. So even in times when they have to give up on their case, their remit, the court demands, the judiciary demands that they seek justice above all else. That is the role of the prosecution. And unfortunately, they don't seem to quite understand that. They got a nice vision statement now and got nothing to do with what is really happening in this country. So they've removed that quote. I'm going to try to see if I can find the quote again. Because that fundamental requirement of the prosecution seems to be something that they have lost sight of, or perhaps they never had sight of. I don't even know. It's absolutely disgusting. Thank you so much for all of your comments. This person has the following to say. Stay strong, San. We are with you. That DPP, the whole DPP office has to go, San. My family was threatened multiple times, and to date are going to the station to file multiple statements. Not a single thing has been done. Yeah, but they got time for me. Let's make it a capital case against good old Sandra Hill. Yes, sir. Here we are. This person says, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. Anyone who call your name in judgment shall be condemned. Resend that letter out again to remind them. Which letter was that? Someone said, good morning. Just found a left AirPod on the floor outside of Kimata Bay Foster's. Have left with customer service if anyone happens to ask CMR. So if you've left an AirPod there, you can go collect it. Someone says, ask Elio about the incident in Mac's study some years ago. Oh, listen, he's not the only one that he would have been asking sexual favors of. That is nothing new. That is nothing new. Absolutely not. All kind of men have been propositioned by that man. What a coward. So disgusting. One jump up and sing in church, but propositioning men for sexual favors. $1,000 will get you a BJ. I'm like, Lord Jesus. But y'all are okay with that. Y'all are okay with people lying to you. Isn't it funny? They lie to you and they pretend to be Christians and they get up in church and they want to sing and whatever. And you guys are like, oh yes, we don't want any LGBT people in our community. Let's persecute them. No marriages, and yet your premiers, Makiva, has been out here living a whole 50 plus years on the DL, a whole life on the down low. And y'all got the time and energy for these poor people minding their own business. I can't even. Let me put on a little bit of lipstick, honey, chill. I might as well look cute while I'm here, living my best life, telling y'all the truth about these people y'all electing and believing in. Yep. A whole life on the down low. Uh-huh. And he up in his feelings because while his poor wife, oh, the ever lovely and naive Miss Carrie, while she was held up, let me make sure my lips look good when they can tell the truth. When she was held up in Kimata Bay on death's door, her husband got time to be going to visit Milady. Imagine that. Your wife of what? How many years? 50, 60 years? I lost count how long they've been married now. Yeah. She's on death's door. Now needs 24/7 care. And you got time to go visit Milady. Wow. Now I tell you, don't call my name in the same sentence as that man trying to compare me to him, because you're insulting me. That's not a compliment. No, I don't live my life on the down low. Okay? I'm just saying. Be who you are, McKeeva Bush. You're bisexual? Good for you. Go out there and live your best bisexual life. How many men in his inner circle can tell you he had 1, 2 little drinks? All of a sudden it starts to come out, honey child. He becomes Kevin Moxham part 2.0. Start feeling up on your legs and the hands going up to your crotch, men. Yep. Won't pretend that it's the liquor. It's not the liquor. You're very cognizant of what you're doing. Every time you've offered a man $1,000 or whatever the going rate was at the moment for sexual favors, you're not under the influence of nothing. That's called the truth. You see, we're here to tell the truth. Okay? And you're fair game. And by extension, anybody you've been dealing with over the years is fair game too, especially when we paying them on government salary. I've never seen such a arrangement before. How do I get one of those contracts? Can I have a concubine that government is going to pay to pretend like they're my assistant and a government car? This is what I would have been calling out in May. What the dates of this thing is? They say the 1st of May, 25th of April, 1st of May, and the 11th of May. This was the conversation that now they claim that I have, that amounts to harassment. How can that be harassment? She don't know what she was or what? Am I telling any lies? Perhaps that's the first question. What lies have been told? Not a one. Disgusting. And I'm not going to stop. Every opportunity I get, I'm going to remind all of you of the type of people that you had in public office for 40 years. And he not start this behavior today, to be clear. This has been going on from Jesus was in diapers. Y'all notice when Graham called, he said, yeah, he know where the bones are buried. He's not gonna tell us, but he know exactly where the bones are buried. Strong Will says, Auntie Sandy, just leave it to God. Let him fight your battle. No. God gave you a brain and the ability to fight for a reason. You better get up and find your fight in you. That's what God wants you to do. Miss Romelia says, yep, just like how drugs went missing out of the police station and nothing came of it. Danny says individuals have human rights and therefore those rights must be asserted by citizens themselves. # our rights. Yeah, if you don't stand up, dog, and eat your supper. Sophia says, boy, your name can burn them, Sandy. Hello. Miss Lucille says, Sandy, I pray that I'll be alive. Yes, ma'am, you can be here. When it finished, girls, Sandy, put Psalms 35 on them and leave them to it. We're not gonna leave them to it. We got. Someone says Nicole Petit does nothing. This is someone who now knows what's going on in the DPP's office. Sarah ended up in the hospital with blood on her brain and is now on medical leave because all the work has been dropped on her. Not sure if she collapsed in the office. That office is extremely toxic. What? Well, I hate to say it, but she should not have taken that promotion when they gave it to her. You know, sometimes we need to learn how to help ourselves. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy.
Hello, honey child.
You look so beautiful this morning.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All what you're saying is the absolute truth. And it reminds me of a little old cliche that I learned from decades ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, speak the truth and speak it ever, cost it what it will. He who hides the wrong he did does the wrong things still.
Mm-hmm.
I say that to say this and ask this question. What has become of the hospitality director from the college? Because from he left this country, everything seems to have gone cold. Now, we had a similar incident with Saeed. They tracked him over to Canada. Then he left from Canada and went to 2 other different countries. And they actually brought him back here, charged him. He was convicted. He went to prison. And then while he was in prison, he got married to a Caymanian. And now they are living in Canada. Now, if they could have done that with Saeed, what is the problem with this Jamaican national? Because he's a national of Jamaica. Maybe he lives in someplace else as well. But that seems to have gone cold.
Who are we talking about? Which Jamaican national?
We're talking about, I forget his name. I think it was Johnson, which was the hospitality director for
yes. Oh, God.
Nothing more has been said about that.
Mm-hmm.
But because they protect their own. And I say that to say this. I was just in court recently for an assault case because somebody came into my yard and verbally assaulted me. And I told them to leave before they get you know what. So they continued. I went outside and I gave them a bus ass. Then the police is going to charge me for assault.
Just remember we're still on the radio.
Yeah. I said, well, listen, the next time that person or anybody else comes back in my yard, well, they're not going to leave. Or the paramedics won't have come for them. Because I will not tolerate somebody coming into my premises where I live and assault me. Because, baby, I am not one passive Caymanian. By no means or stretch of the imagination. I also, when I went to court recently, inside the court, I mean, I really had to look and listen, right? The judge was Jamaican. The 3 prosecutors from the DPP's office were Jamaicans, 2 ladies and 1 man. It's like, what the hell is really going on here? And I mean, it's like, I can tell anybody, Jamaicans run the judiciary of this country. Plain and simple. I will end also by saying this. The governor, she needs to go. She is ineffective, and I can't even say so much on the air. But I will also share this with you. She's on the investigation for a number of things. I can't say on the radio. But then she has plans that when she retires as the governor, to stay here. And this is public knowledge. She has secured one of the penthouse suites at 1GT Hotel, which is on Gorin Avenue. There you go. Have a good day, Sandy. Love you always.
Thank you so much. Wow. I don't even know what to say. What a hot mess. Okay. Wow. So okay. What a mess. Okay. Anyway, Lord Jesus, take the wheel. Somebody said, and the ex-DPP moron works as a legal advisor for the police. Yes, we've discussed that. Just look at the police sergeant that they had in court for 4 years because they were hiding a document which would have exonerated him. He's still suing the RCIPS after 8 years now because they're dragging it out. Which police sergeant is that? I'm trying to remember which case that is. Yeah, ex-DPP Morat is legal advisor to the police. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. Anywhere else, he would have been fired. Seriously. Morning, Lily. Lady D says, so many have been getting away for so much, with so much in Cayman. They feel untouchable and complacent in their ways. Well, that's for sure. Heaven blesses the caller don't want Jamaicans. He wants the British and Canadians. No, I mean, let's put in context what he was saying, right? We have had people, this is UCCI now, stealing from UCCI. We had one that was from, I think he came by way of Canada, if my memory serves me correctly, Saeed, and he stole money. And we extradited him. I can't remember where he was, but we brought him back. So the caller's question, and to his point, is saying we still have one more out there, and I almost forgot about him, to be honest. That he stole money from the hospitality school there at UCCI. And to this date, he has not been brought back. And he's saying, you know, his opinion obviously is why is that? This is the former director of the School of Hospitality falsified UCCI vendor documents, Wayne Jackson. And I think he's right in Florida. I don't think he's very far. And that has been since 2021. And what has happened? Nothing. Seems like we've not moved to have him brought back to the US. So this is the point that this caller is trying to make. And yes, he says he happens to be Jamaican. Well, he is Jamaican, but I also think he has American citizenship, and he's hiding out there. So why haven't we brought him back? We brought back other people, right? Lord have mercy. But but to be clear, this ain't got nothing to do with whether they're Jamaican, English, Canadian, from Timbuktu. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you that if they were Caymanian, 99% of the time, they're not going to get that kind of free ride, that kind of criminality. A thief stealing from government, falsifying invoices, but yet DPP got time for me. And not 9:30 yet. Miss Donna says, give him a kaboom.
Kaboom!
Mr. Dean Gillette says, ram that lawsuit up there, blinkety blink. Yes, sir. That's exactly what they didn't get it. Raw too. Cameron Brack says, God don't want us to be lazy, fight hard and push back. Vince, good morning. He remembers back in the day. He says, Micromatrix, 4-way, second floor. Still my favorite. Aw, that's been a long time, Bobo. Back in the day, hustling, doing our little business. Yep. Valerie says, Proverbs 31:9 says, speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and needy. Thank you for what you're doing, Sandra. Thank you. Thank you, Valerie. We got to remember that, you know, it's what we do isn't easy, but it is required. Let me do a birthday shout out today to none other than Noel Cayasso. We know he still remains in the hospital, but today's his birthday. So happy birthday, my dear. You know, wish we had a more positive update to give people right now, but nonetheless, you're here still with us on your birthday. So bless you. Mm-hmm. All right, the police just announced that wanted man Patrick Campbell was arrested today. Formal PR will follow. Great. Good for them. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Ay. Someone just sent me something that the DPP, Simon Davies, posted about breaking news for them. Jokers. What a mess. We're going to expose them. We're going to dig out all the dirt. I think that was Sean Bodden. Okay. Oh, I don't know who they're talking about. I have no clue. Morning from the UK, Isaiah. Caymanian overseas here. What do you think? Cayman has a free speech issue, Sandra? Psh, right? No, well, I have a free speech issue for sure. They don't want me telling y'all stuff. Damn. I'm sick of them. I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired. I have the old people used to say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Lord Jesus. All right, more to come. Much more to come. Mm-hmm. Let me see here. A memo that's stated once they drove their personal vehicle for police work, the police vehicle insurance covered them. He was charged for driving without insurance on his way to do police work. And it took years to finally get the present commissioner to agree it was a policy. Okay. Good morning, Sandy. So sorry for the latest against you. Stay strong. Maybe I missed it, but did you give out the banking information for Nolly? Please let me have it. It was, I'm going to speak to you, but it was actually in an article, and I can send it to you directly, but there is a pending update that will be coming as of probably next week. So the family will make an announcement next week. So I want you to hold on to that. Yes, Isaiah, we definitely have a free speech problem. There's no two ways about it. Daniela says, shout out to my parents for finally talking to me after they found out I fell in love with the wrong person. But everything is great now. Okay. Not sure I'm quite following that one. Off topic, perhaps. I'm not sure. But okay. Great. Here's another message. Did I read this one already? Oh, yes. Let me see what other statements. Good morning, Mr. Woodrow Wilson. Says, be safe out there. Thank you, sir. Keith Orrit says they're trying to silence the voice of the people. They are trying extra hard, but we can't let them do that. West Kingston 345, good morning. Says, why does Cayman have so many old fowls running around? I was surprised at that one. Old fowls, meaning literally or people? Yeah, we got a lot of chickens. I see the government has budgeted $500,000 to maybe do something about it. And I see some of y'all still trying to defend the poor chickens. Y'all defend the poor chickens more than you defend free speech. Come on now. Get it together. What I can tell you is now with the bird flu on the loose here in the Cayman Islands, I think a lot of you will change your song and dance when it comes to those chickens. They're not cute. And, they're scavengers. So I get that some people are like, oh, well, they eat the insects and whatever. Everything has a place in the ecosystem. But I think what happens is when they get out of whack, there's too many of them. That's a problem. They're not just eating insects. They're picking out your garden. I mean, poor old Marlon, he'd be so pissed off. He's like, every time he try and plant one little seed, here comes a chicken stealing his seeds. So I don't know. Anthony, morning. Anthony says, Miss Sandy, I have not always agreed with you, but you are unequivocally a net benefit for we, the people, especially the native Caymanian population. Thank you, Anthony. Lady D says, amen. Know that Ezekiel 34 will come to pass and they will all be held accountable. God's word never fails to be fulfilled. Good morning to Al Ebanks. How are you doing, Al? Says they divide and conquer. The divide and conquer is real. Your silence is their comfort. So let me say this. Y'all know that even in my 9:30 segments, I've been really trying to behave. God knows I've been trying. Some days we're not going to behave you, but I've been really trying. Kimmer Brack said, let's cuss him out. You try and behave. Stop calling me before 9:30 with your cuss words, because then we can have off regular asses next. And remember, I don't own the station. If I own the station, it'd be different. I could deal with off reg, but it's not my station. It's my show. I pay for the airtime, but I don't own the station. That's why I got to get my own station next year. But mind your P's and Q's when you call in before 9:30, Carrie Tibbetts. Let me be clear about my position and where I stand. Am I a perfect person? Absolutely not. I'm as flawed as they come some days. I'm human. Yeah. But one thing I know for sure, when it comes to my heart, where my heart is in all of this, I can tell you that every single day I get up, I put on my fucking armor. Yeah. I come to the microphone. We have a show. We try to hold people accountable in this country. We talk about issues that are impacting us. That's not really about me, you know. The vast majority of issues have nothing to do with me. We're all in this together. I understand the trust that the community have placed in me, and I want to thank you for that. Most of you now get it. Most of you understand that I'm here to call a spade without fear or favor. I don't give a shit. I hope by now that most of you recognize how this works. I had to chuckle yesterday when Kenneth came on the program, when Kenneth came on the show. Because I've said, listen, you guys know Kenneth has been on the program before, and we've had to put him in his place. We've loud him up. We said, hold on, what's going on here? And I know poor Kenneth, sometimes he gets his feelings because we're all human beings. Nobody likes to be criticized. Nobody likes to be called out. But when Kenneth is right, and he's seeing the right thing for the right reasons, or we believe the right reasons, then we give the man his props, just like everybody else. Because on this program, I don't give a shit. Let me be very clear. Who your mama is. Half of y'all, I don't even know who the hell you be. None of that matters to me. Okay? If I got called up my own Canadians and cuss their backsides blue, black and blue, we do it. If I have to call out the English fools up in the DPP's office, we do it. If I have to tell you guys about Darlene Oku and what she was up to, we do it. If we have to call out our own Canadians and government for being lazy, for not wanting to work, for poor customer service, we do it. If we got called out the Jamaican working, in the prison system and not doing their job, we do it because it doesn't matter. Everyone is going to be held to account. And that's why I have to make sure I keep myself fucking straight. You know what I'm saying? How can I sit here and talk about accountability and holding people accountable if I was out in these streets doing some shit myself? No, I don't do it. That's why I stay my behind home. I ain't not getting mixed up in nothing with nobody. So the only thing they can possibly come at me with these days, I guess, because I not mixed up in nobody. I'm married. I'm happily married. I stay home with my family. I got my husband, I got my daughter, and I got my dog. And my 5 friends on one finger that I can count, and I'm good. I'm not out in these streets. I'm not doing shit. And you know what I'm saying? I'm here trying to do my job, trying to hold people accountable, trying to discuss these issues. That's the only thing they can come at me with. Let's be very, very clear. That's all they got these days. So they continue to try to fucking criminalize free speech in this country. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to let you bitches do it. You're going to have a fight on your hands from me. Because like I said, the day they are successful with me, dog gonna eat your supper. Huh? Because if they can take me down, what do you think it can be? All they're gonna do is bring you the little conviction record. Oh yeah, we got Sandy. Now you better not say nothing. You better not speak out about no politician. You better stop calling the talk shows. Everybody's gonna live in fear in this country. And the one thing I will not do, let me be clear now. I've lived in another man's country for 15 years. A lot has changed in America since then. But when I came back to my country, I said, I'm here to make a difference. I'm here to make this country better. Right? I'm going to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And I am not for one going to be silenced in my own country. When I go to America and I'm there for a couple of days, I'm on my P's and Q's. I'm not saying jack shit. It ain't my country. I don't have citizenship. I gave up residency. I don't want to be a part of their country. Huh? But on this rock, these 3 rocks that we collectively call the Cayman Islands, this is my country, Bobo. I'm a Georgetowner. You know when they say your navel string buried somewhere? Mine is down Hospital Road, 2 stones throw from the Georgetown Hospital where I was born on August the 18th, 1973. Okay? So I am going to speak up against all injustices in this country. I don't care. You see, it don't matter to me who the victim is, where they're from, who their mama is, how much money they have in the bank. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Okay? Just like it don't matter to me who the perpetrators are. If they wrong, they wrong. It's as simple as that. So let's ensure that we collectively understand you have a right to free speech. I have a right to free speech. And there's no amount of charges in the world. They can bring another set after today's show too. They probably will. I don't give a shit. There's no amount of charges in the world that's going to stop me from exercising my constitutional rights under the Bill of Rights in the Cayman Islands to free speech. There's no ladies that are not really ladies at all. They're going to be able to run to the police, crying their little Cuban eyes out, probably in some short shorts that day, looking cute. Got the police officers all in their feelings. Oh, Sandy's a big bully. No, I'm not. I'm calling out the fuckridge in this country for what it is. And y'all don't like it. I know McKeever pissed off. Oh, he is royally pissed at me. You know for how long he been complaining about Brady? Oh, you representing her. You making Amelia represent her. Oh my gosh, you can't do that. So much so that poor Amelia, Brady has told her she can't represent me no more. Because we reported on him too. Poor him. Wah, wah. Oh, heaven forbid that I should report on Brady. Because of what? Because you different, you special? No. You're in court like everybody else. You're being sued. What are we supposed to do? As a matter of fact, my staff didn't even ask me because she knows how this works. You don't got to ask me who to report on and who not to report on. Yes, report on the bitches. What do you think this is? Some people want special favors. And when they don't get special favors, then they want to turn up the heat on you. Well, that's too bad for him. I'm fine. But I know all during the trial, oh, that's Sandra. She reported on me. You know, McKeever don't really like women. I mean, he despises women, in fact. Women who can stand up to him. So he was always complaining in Brady's ear. McKeever, shut up. Shut the fuck up. Because you not got nothing. You in the past 25 years, you've done nothing valuable to this country. In the early days, yes, I can give you your credit. But in the last 25 years, you've been a complete disgrace. For every single one of us in this country that have came from nothing and tried to achieve something in life, you are the antithesis of that. Because you've shown us that if your britches get too big, if you're not careful, yeah, you start to think your own shit don't stink. And there is nothing worse than thinking you are above the law and that your own shit don't stink. That's why we called this man out. And that's why after 40 years in office, he needed to go. So I have business with him. And I tell you that these trumped up charges that we have here, we haven't seen the bundle yet, but I've been told it's relation to this Milady person. These 3 charges now, this is the latest, signed by, I don't even know whose signature, who friggin' signature this was, but anyway, from the DPP's office. Who is the Justice of the Peace? Sonia Stewart Nash. Deputy, signed on December 16th. So these latest trumped up charges now from the DPP's office again, you know, they're the ones who instruct the police. This is a bunch of foolishness. I have the right to talk about McKeeva Bush, especially during an election, but quite frankly, anytime. And I have a right to talk about Milady. And I have a right to question the nature of their relationship and why this woman was being paid $4,000 plus out of the Cayman Islands budget, and why she was driving up and down with McKeeva Bush, driving a government vehicle, and why he even had a government vehicle to begin with. These are all legitimate pieces, questions, things that we need to talk about. So she's in her feeling because I said, well, I believe some whoring was going on around here. Because you know McKeeva Bush already. You get special favors when you're whoring around with him. That's just how he operates. So you know, give him a little blow job, his little pee-pee. The reports have not been positive. Very little. But that gets you special favors. That gets you a job. He didn't want Graham Rankin in that job because he couldn't, he's like P. Diddy. You wake up with your butt sore. He wasn't going to do that with Graham. So after a while, Graham was allowing him to go out there being this drunken buffoon that he is. And so you got to go. He wants somebody that he can control. That he can pinch him on the behind. He can cop a little feel. He can, make sexual advances and sexual favors, and they can just go with the flow. That what's going on. And everybody knows it. You have a PA. What are you going in the under the cover of darkness to this woman's house for? She got children and supposedly a husband too, I believe. Some fool. What are you going to this woman's house sneaky linking for? What is going on? Everybody saw you, Matt. Cayman is too small. Nothing you do is truly done in darkness. I can tell you that. This is the Cayman Islands. People are watching you. They know what you up to. And the worst part is, Max mouth enough for him, because he's so braggative. That's what Cayman is. He's braggative. So you know what he gonna do? He go talk it. Like I said, give him one little drink. Give him that, what it is, he like Hennessy and Coke. Or whatever his alcoholic beverage of choice is these days. He only need half of that. One little sip. And he gonna start talking to that because he think he's the Don Juan. He gonna start telling you, oh yeah. You know that my woman. I give her a boob job. I paid for that. Let me tell you how disgusting Makiva is, right? Now I tell y'all, please, under no circumstances do you ever compare me to this man. There's a certain woman that he was carrying on with. We can say allegedly if that makes y'all feel better, but we know. And she was one of his side chicks for years. Kim Anion, unfortunately. You know, some people have not been able to really say no to this man, especially when he was like in tourism. He had a little bit of power, minister, premier, whatever. So off and on for years, they were carrying on a little thing. So one day now, years later, she getting married to this guy. I don't want to tell you too much about who she get married to because then you're gonna figure out who she is. And I think a lot of these women have been used and victimized by him still. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to embarrass her. I know she must be embarrassed. Anybody who can lay down next to Mac, with Mac, make him touch you in a sexual way. Oh God, I want to literally vomit. It is disgusting. Seriously. Nasty. This would have been the days even before he had the gastric surgery. He's just a nasty little fucking troll. That's what he is. You know what this man had you know what he did? When he found out that she was getting married, he get vexed. Call her in front of other people, you know, that way the people them can tell me the story. Guess what Makiva Bush said to her? Who the fuck do you think you is? Why the hell you marrying that fucking nigga? Apparently, Makiva don't think he black. Wonk, wonk, wonk. Look in the mirror, honey child. And so the guy is a little bit darker, handsome looking black man. I mean, I don't know what the problem is. Makiva actually had tell this girl, I'm upset with you. Why the hell you married this fucking nigga? I'm like, huh? So you think she gonna be your side piece for life while you've been married for like 60 fucking years? She not gonna ever marry anybody, and it was worse because she's marrying a black man, apparently. Makiva Bush not no good. I don't need y'all to tell me the amount of civil servants that this man has held down. Right? Because, they're not for me, they're not with me, whatever. People that should have rightfully been promoted into positions. They never got the promotion they deserved because of that same man you sit there. Y'all sitting there looking at Makiva Bush. You go and look at it. How long was Portia Mari acting tourism? Acting. You know why? Because it likes a fucking Makiva Bush. And look at Shamari now. Praise the Lord. Look at all the amazing things that man is doing now. All the awards and accolades regionally and internationally that he is winning. But in government, he couldn't go nowhere. Makiva purposely was changing the job title to make sure, not just a job title, but the requirements for the job. Oh, no. All this experience is not enough. Now we want you to have a master's degree. Now you do this, now you do that. And those fucking chief officers in government sitting down, making Makiva do this to hold on our own Caymanians. And you guys talk about how much this man has done for this country. Well, I tell you what, I don't give a shit if you're my lady, my man, whoever. He only does for those who can benefit him. Huh? He only does for those who can give him a vote. That is what this man has been doing. He has been destroying this country for umpteenth years, holding back Caymanians. And so guess what? I not got no respect for him. Because I know. And listen, I don't know the half of it. I probably know 20, 30%. There's so much more, so many more stories out there. But of the little that I know, I cannot respect this man. And you know what we say in the Caribbean? Don't know who to frighten. So he's never stepped to me like that. I can tell you that. Oh, hell no. I would kick him in the nuts. Somebody must have told him. You see that Georgetown there? He must have knew I had West Bay connections too, you know. You see her there? Her people from West Bay, you know. She not really got no sense. She not got no sense on the Georgetown side. She related to them McFields and all them crazy people from town, Cheertown, huh? And related to half of West Bay, so don't fuck with her. Don't even look at her too hard, because he never tried that with me, and good thing, because Jesus knows it wouldn't have go so. I came this close to going to that Ritz-Carlton event. And man, that night when I started to hear what happened, I was like, shit, I should have gone, you know. I came home and I was going to get ready and go, but y'all know what happened when you take off your bra. Listen, when you got bubbles my size, when you take that off and that you're done for, you're like, I can't be bothered. Gotta go get showered, put on another bra again, hold them up again. I was like, Lord Jesus, let me pull them up a little bit. I was like, no, I can't be bothered. So I stayed my ass home. Because you know what? I would have been in trouble that night if I'd gone there and seen Makiva. Groping women, pinching women, grabbing people, sucking on people. I would have kicked him down those back steps of the Ritz-Carlton. So God knows what he was doing when he made me come home and let go my jugs. He said, stay your behind home. That was divine intervention that night. And he did all of this stuff to our own Caymanian women. Some of them, well, you know, it was disgusting and weird, and I felt traumatized by it, but I didn't want to go to the police. God gave you an instinct for a reason, you know. If you feel traumatized by something, that is a very, very good indication that something has happened. Something is wrong. You don't get traumatized by good things. So when you have to go and sit in the basement of the Ritz-Carlton and call Sam Rose and have an hour-long conversation with him to try to dissect what Makiva Bush just did to you, sucking on your hand, giving your hickey on your hand and grabbing you up and all this kind of stuff. And you can't juxtapose that with a man who, oh my God, my mother has always respected him, or your mother got it wrong. Your mama didn't know what kind of man he was, or he is. He continues to be. That's your instinct, girl, telling you that what that man did wasn't right. And he was sitting there victimizing other women. And so another one of those people decided she gonna stand up. You know how many that night he was touching and groping, whatever, including sitting MPs, and they did nothing. They talk amongst each other. This is what they do. They talk amongst each other, but they don't go to the police and report him. They don't want the stress and whatever of all of that. This is what this man been up to for years. The number of people he's propositioned, because, you know, money is some of y'all weakness. He'll give you money. Heaven bless you, right? He's not the only one. John, Chris Saunders. After all the government workers just for them to get benefits. Yeah. They're all nasty. They're all gross. I told y'all about Chris Saunders during election, and y'all still elected him. I showed you the evidence of his freak-offs and what he be doing with these women, and how he likes to take the pictures and likes to show pictures of people, these women's vaginas and all kind of stuff, and his small little pee-pee. That's all, the photographic evidence is there. I told you guys all of this, and you still elected him. So what more you want me to say? Y'all continue, try and hush but John, because he not got no damn sense. But the people, this is a democratic society. So if the people keep voting these people in, y'all not gonna get no better. Y'all not gonna, you know what I'm saying? No, Carrie, he was permanent secretary. Let me make it clear. This is a man who was facing charges again. Wayne Panton made him step down, made him resign. They got rid of Wayne. Then when they got rid of Wayne and the last four resigned, Julie went and pulled Makiva back to keep her government together so she can get whatever she wanted, how she rolled too. She went and pulled him back in, and at that time, she made him a permanent secretary. All of a sudden, he got one of the Tahoes to drive. He went from driving a Honda Fit that he could barely fit in, because that way he was showing up in court, and one little box car like this, one little Honda Fit. You put two of his legs in there and he could barely fit, okay? So she got him a Tahoe to drive. She went and, of course, he would have been able to tell her who he wanted her to hire and put, and he put up this Cuban lady, Milady. So that's why they charging me, because I was talking about Milady and how the hell she got this job. How many times she would have been sucking him off for $4,000 or $5,000 a month. Then the question still remains. So Heaven Bliss, you're absolutely right. Heaven Bless, sorry. You're absolutely right. Yeah, Carrie. So that's when he was permanent secretary. That's why he was killing himself to get back in. You know how, for all the money, the millions of dollars that have gone through McKeever's fingers, he is a broke-ass nigga right now. He's still getting double pension, dipping in pension, but he is an avid gambler. So he's wasted so much of his money. He's gone and remortgaged his house. This man not got nothing to show for it. Although he has had literally a lot of money in his lifetime. Because he's horrible. He has some really, really bad addictive personality issues. And gambling is one of his problems. He go on bragging about what a high roller he is. When he go to the Bahamas and all these different casinos, they want to send him private jet and private driver and all kind of stuff because they know he'll come in there and drop ridiculous amounts of money. That's why he had gotten in trouble way back when with the credit card. Remember the government credit card? But he got off. Kim Brack says there are many that are afraid of the victimization we get dished out, so they say silent in pain and trauma. It's too bad. It's really, really sad. Yeah, Julie, listen, Juliana O'Connor Conley, she's the female version of McKeever Bush in some respects. Not quite as bad with I'm not saying she's out there paying for sexual favors, any of that kind of stuff. Although, y'all know about the driver she had that one time. May he rest in peace. That was a whole story and then some. And we also know the stories about her affinity for other women. There's something to be said for the ones who protest the most and the loudest on this LGBT thing, especially the politicians. Y'all need to look at who they are. Because when you see them protesting, start digging into their history just a little bit. And you can see all the stories that came out about how they were grooming women in Cayman back in the day when the men were going out to sea. And there was, a man shortage in Cayman back. I don't know how they were hand making the dildos or what they were doing, but, they were turning these women out in the back. I'm just saying, and everybody know it. Lord Jesus. Now they turn Christian, or so they claim. Wearing the skirts down to their ankles and won't pretend like they somebody. Oh, yeah, somebody said, don't forget how he grabbed the woman in the Seminole Casino. Yep, that disappeared because of money. Pay off. Very sad to see such a man who was once so powerful reduced to such a cliche. He's always had these issues. So, yeah, not surprised. He's just been able to cover them up. This person says, I guess the lady that McKeever was messing around with was married. Married the dark guy is the same one he had a condo of his up on 7 Mile Beach Road. He had up in a condo. I don't know, boy. He been doing the most. Lord have mercy. Lord Jesus. Here's another report on a police officer again. This person says, shut him down. He know his time soon be up. The closing down of the bank, the mass status grants, et cetera, et cetera. He's a desperate troll. That's a problem. And it keep going on and on and on. Time to clean up. Nobody wants them trolls, so they got to force or pay for it. Ridiculous. The East End log would bust up his bunkie. Lodge, you mean? What a mess. Reporting the bitches, yes. People still hold on to the illusion of the Makiva from yesteryear. Well, I don't have no illusions. And of course, he's up in his feelings that we bust that bubble. And congrats to Miss Julie Hunter. It was only, 15 or 19 votes that she won by, but guess what? It don't matter. A win is a win, even by 1 vote. So he's still up in his feelings all about that even now. This is true. The ones that want to talk about the gay and lesbians, they be the biggest ones themselves on the down low. I agree. I have seen that with my own 2 eyes, so I agree. Those y'all out here hating us because you know what you be feeling. You better go sort it out. Go talk to a therapist and figure out what you and who you are. Lady D says the saying goes, you can do what you want, but not for as long as you feel. It all comes to an end sooner or later. Amen. Hallelujah. Yep, some of them Christians are groomers. Heaven Bliss says, yep, Chris Saunders freak off party by the Rasta woman in Newlands. I wish I could tell you it was just one. I'm talking about marriage is a convenience. How can you stay with a man that there's evidence, there's photos of him doing all this stuff? You know that this is what he's doing. Like, I have to wonder about these women. Not for all the money in the world can I allow a man to disrespect, his marriage, disrespect his wife, all this stuff for what? It's just shocking. And the people of the Cayman Islands think that these are good people to elect a public office. If a man can, on a regular basis, cheat on his wife, disrespect his wife, a woman who lives in a house with him, who has bore his children, gone through labor, sacrificed her life, raised his children, if he can disrespect her with these freak offs left, right, and center, how do you think he will respect the people of the Cayman Islands? That's right, Michelle. He can't respect anybody else. So, Shaka, was it Shaka? Says, oh, forget about Chris now. No, Strong Will, my apologies. Strong Will, he might be your friend and you might like him, but I'm telling you, if you apply this principle to everyone, every single one of them, not a single one of them who demonstrates these traits should be in public office. Now, some of them, okay, now I'm divorced, I've left my wife or whatever, I'm a free agent, But it takes a certain kind of person to lay down next to a woman all the time, to share a household with a woman and still disrespect her that much. Living a lie, pretending. And yes, it adds insult to injury. When I can look at these photos and I see Chris taking these pictures of these women, some of them don't even know that they were being photographed and stuff. And the disgusting things that he's in. I mean, listen, some of y'all freaks, do you, if you're a consenting adult, whatever. But damn, it turns my stomach. It makes me sick. I don't even want to think about it anymore. I haven't had breakfast this morning, so I can't throw anything up, but I might throw up my vinegar water. It's disgusting. But that's who y'all want public office, freak off extraordinaires. Who am I to say? Hot mess. Who is a lovely soft-spoken lady? Who's a lovely soft-spoken lady? Because Sandra, hold on. because Sandra, the women put up with it because they know what they want or after. I don't know swingers was such a thing in Cayman until I knew it was so prevalent here. Me, now I'm boring. I just want one partner. Yeah, I mean, listen, like I said, you know, there's lots of stuff that goes on here. They have these boat parties. They do their freak offs on the boat. They take them out of Cayman waters a little bit, and they're out there doing all kind of rain showers and swinging from the parts of the boat and whatever. Daniela, why are you here in this comment? Why? This is, I don't know what show you think you're on. Yes, you were blocked and you come back again with another account. Why? Are you in the Cayman Islands? Does this have anything to do with Cayman? Where are you from and where are your parents? This ain't got nothing to do with us. You're halfway around the world. Go solve your own problems over there. We got enough shit going on here in our island that we're focused on. If you're not here and you're not in the Cayman Islands, it has nothing to do with the conversation that we're having. So why are you talking about it? You have a right. Go get your own YouTube channel. Go have your own platform. Stop trolling people. We don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. It's not relevant to the conversation. And it has nothing to do with you being Asian. And it has nothing to do with your English. You're off topic. Clearly, you're not from Cayman. You look like a fucking fake account. And we don't know what the hell you're talking about. That's what we're talking about. So stop commenting because I'm going to block you again. What the fuck? These YouTube trolls, it's like, give us a break. Go find something else to do. Go troll on some of those Diddy posts. The real Michelle says, I was looking for a sea change, but Cayman sounds too wild and crazy for me. Well, if you're in certain circles, it is wild and crazy. Yeah, they be having freak offs right here in Cayman. And it would be the people that you would not suspect. The McKeeva Bushes of the world, the Chris Saunders of the world. They want to get up and go to church on a Sunday. Sing in the church choir. Don't you love when he comes with his alto voice, singing in the church choir? And now you know what he's up to? Oh, you don't want to hear anything about him again, but he's still an elected official. He's still representing the people of this country. How sad is that? Anyway, I got to go. I got stuff to do. Nobody not paying my bills, so I got to go to do some fucking work. So the bills can get paid around, yeah. Moral of the story today is I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. That's up to the good Lord. I am going to remain steadfast in my position, bringing issues to you, the people. I will continue to be your voice. You send me, like I said, the only thing I tell y'all, come straight with your evidence because you know they're going to be coming after me. So I can't jeopardize myself. Come with your evidence. And ensure that we can try to put this country on a better path. Ignoring our problems, pretending like they don't exist isn't going to get us anywhere. We got to face it head on. We've got to be prepared to call a spade a spade. Call perverts a pervert. Call bad politicians bad politicians. Call child pedophiles what they are, child pedophiles. Call thieves what they are, thieves. Milady, you call you what you are. Run to the police and complain. That's all they're good for anyway. They're not good for nothing else. They're not good for, poor Kurt Walton. I try to work with him. Give them their credit. They try anything. DPP's office, they're not good none at all. I'm not giving them no credit. It's part of the territory, and I guess I have to accept it. Real Michelle says, I hope that your day gets better. Thank you so much for showing up. You inspire me. Thank you. Goes on to say, you're doing a great job and you are appreciated. I thank you all so much. I really, really do. It means a lot to me. I think ultimately people do understand that, I refuse to be silenced. I will not be silenced. I understand how incredible this platform is, how it has given a lot of people an outlet. And people don't like that. Some people are afraid by that. And we can't allow that to happen. Alan says to run for public office. Never, 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 never again. I actually did before, but never again. No. I'm right where I'm supposed to be. The things that I am able to accomplish here on a regular basis, from the prosecutions that we talked about to, just everything else. If I were in public office, I would be impotent. I wouldn't be able to do any of that. So that don't make no sense. I don't need any, there's nothing being an MP would get me. I would be in a far worse position in terms of advocating for the people of this country. Right now, we get to hold MPs accountable. Right? We get to hold them accountable. When you become one of them, how the hell you hold them accountable? Not for nothing, but that's not how it works. So we're not interested in becoming MP, Alan. But thank you. I mean, I know that comes from a good place, I think, where you think that, those in public office can get much more done. I tell you, on a daily basis, I help more people through this platform than probably 99% of the politicians. Let me give you an example. Just, and I'm not going to call out which MP this is, but just the other day, Tuesday, I had someone message me, Sandra, I need your help. You know how many times I get that? I've been asking NRA to help us out. It's been over 3 years and still nothing. The entrance to her house is flooded. So-and-so, politician, promised to look into this for us, and I can't even get in contact with him anymore. Let me show you the video. I'm hoping you'll have a contact to NRA that can help us. And they sent me the video of the flooding in front of their house. My son has to get his shoes wet in order to open the gate. The neighbors park out there and they shouldn't. This is a public road, not a car park. Please, please, please help me. I got the message. 5:43 p.m. I said, good evening. They said, oh, sorry, good evening. I forgot my manners after being so angry with these neighbors I have. I said, okay, what's the location? I said, let me see what I can do. That was Tuesday evening. They've been dealing with this for 3 years. I sent it on to my respective people at NRA. By yesterday morning at 9:22, I could forward them the message that says, hi, Sandy, I'll get it sorted ASAP. Might be in the new year, though, as most of our crewmen are now on vacation. This person said, thank you, Sandy. You certainly move quicker than the politician in our area. I know he's busy, but gosh. And this is not a one-off situation. Every single day. When Miss Stacy started working for me, she was like, I think you get more calls than the premier. The number of people that are calling you for all sorts of advice, assistance, government this, that. And I feel that it's a privilege for me to be able to help in the way that I do. In so many different ways. Right? So I'm not switching up and going to the other side, talking about no politician, where the people got paid me and still not getting shit done. This person says, Sandra, I know you're going through a lot. I'm speaking from personal experience now. Do not let them get to you. I hear a lot of cussing today. Do not let them change you. Keep your head up. Keep moving forward. They want to make you upset with foolishness. Do not allow yourself to fall into that trap. Child, some days you just got cussed to try and keep your sanity, but I hear you. Marshall says, no public office. She would be silenced. She's right where she's supposed to be. That's right. Carrie says that she got 100 new followers after her last chat last week. So thanks a million. You're welcome. The real Michelle says, smart choice, Sandy. Let the grubs do grub work, aka politicians. Strong Wilt says, Auntie, can I treat you to lunch today so you wouldn't have a fabulous day? I'm going to get you some black box pizza. If you don't know the joke about the black box pizza, boy, then people are probably still getting orders from that day, you know. When we mentioned the black box pizza, all of a sudden they're like, Miss Sandy, everybody calling us about this. It's like they never had heard of black box pizza before. John, good morning, sir. Says you would get a white Tahoe. Jesus Christ. No. Carrie says, Sandra, keep your platform. How you been doing it? Changing is only going to run away your fundamental supporters. Everybody got a little of something they like or want to hear. Good morning from the Philippines. How are you? Morning, morning, morning. All right, we're going to go ahead and end the program. Somebody said they want some black box pizza today too. Yes, sir. Someone showed me their, this time of year, both YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that. They send you like the sort of like a recap of your year. So someone just shared with me that this past year, this is amazing. Thank you so much for the support. That they have watched 271 of our videos this year. It says that's dedication. You're in the top 0.07% of viewers. Most of you, I think, are still kind of on Facebook watching, but thank you for that. That's amazing. Morning, Joseph. Jim says, we don't agree on every topic you discuss in the show, but trust when I say this, we have your back. What would K-Man do if it wasn't for you and what you speak on? Thank you. Thank you so much, Jim. I really appreciate that. And that's the beauty of freedom of speech, right? We don't have to agree on everything. We can have varying opinions on different subjects. Thank you, Irvelyn. Thank you guys so much. We're going to continue the fight. Let's stay positive. Yes, Carrie, thank you so much. Let's stay strong. They're not going to keep us down. The more they come at us, the more we're going to dig. Because I reckon there's plenty to be uncovered. So we're going to continue to expose. We're going to continue to dig. I think our team right now is working on a story about someone who just got a government contract to fix the airport. And lo and behold, one of their subsidiary companies is being investigated for fraud. Wow. Pretty wild. You know, we don't do any fact checking or background checks or anything around here unless you're a Cayman, and then they're not gonna give you the job. If you're not in their 2%, friend network or whatever. This is the kind of foolishness that's going on. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day. It's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. I don't know what happened to our guests. They didn't jump on. And well, once we started talking, you don't know. The conversation went from there. Thank you, Jim. Lady says, yep, we agree to disagree to agree. Oh, yes, Carrie, I'm actively searching for my Casey to take on my case, both the criminal case and the civil case, so we can drop that lawsuit on them. All right, folks. Christmas is coming up. We're officially 1 week out now from Christmas. We're going to start to get a little bit more into the festive season, do some celebrating as we get closer. I really wish all of you an amazing holiday season. It's a time now we're coming up to the end of the year for, reflection and an opportunity for you guys to spend some time with your loved ones, your family, your friends. I got a lot of people this year that are actually going to be off island. Lots of people are traveling for the holidays. Yeah. So have a fantastic day, and we'll be right back here tomorrow morning. Thank you, The Real Michelle. I appreciate you. Says, you got this. And before you go, please know that I'm so grateful for you and your show. One day soon, I'll let you know how much. It's huge. Aw, thank you. When do we go on break? I have been thinking about it, Lady D, and I do feel like, breaks are good. So I'm thinking, let me have a think about it later on today. I don't know, because we got so many people doing promotions right now during the holiday season. We kind of have to be here. So I don't know. We might just go right up into it, because next year I'm taking two vacations. Yep, I'm taking 2 trips next year. So I think next year I'll be making up for it. So we might just work right through the holidays this year, because we got a lot going on. We got contractual obligations that we have to fulfill from some of our advertisers. That's okay. That's how you pay the bills. Bills must be paid. Let me tell you, honey child, you don't pay them bills, you're going to be in trouble. All right. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Marsha says, no break. You just went to Tampa. That was work. Oh my gosh. That was actually a work trip, but it was lovely. It was so nice to be there, even just for a few days. All right, beautiful people. Again, we'll see you tomorrow morning at 7:30. Be good or be good at it. Don't let the stresses of life hold you down. Yes, have a moment, cry, and then get up and keep at it. All right. Until tomorrow morning at 7:30, please be blessed.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels. And visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.